So good morning. It's Savannah Community Headlines Live, a weekly gathering around the virtual water cooler. What a weekend. I feel like I've worked all weekend getting ready for the state of small business. Anyhow,
I know.
today is Catalina Garcia Quick. And
Good morning.
Young. So today we have Tim Echols of the Georgia Public Service Commission as our special guest to learn about the different green energy projects happening in Georgia. But before we pull on Commissioner Echols, we have a few announcements. Let's look. We always start with a coastal pet rescue. This guy is Ned. Did you see him in Any Cute?
Yes, I love him.
I know. He needs a forever home, and contact Lisa Scarborough if you are looking for a pet. Apparently, I heard that all the pets. I think that was the Humane Society. I saw that somewhere online in the news over the weekend. It was like it's a first time ever, I think, for them to have every single pet was adopted. So that's phenomenal. Yep, every single one. So Ned still needs a home. He's with Coastal Pet Rescue. So please contact Lisa Scarborough at Coastal Pet Rescue, and she can help you bring this wonderful guy home. So he's very handsome. That's a very handsome boy. I know. I always wonder about their stories. What happened? How they get who abandoned. I have a tiny dog now. My dog now only weighs about 8 pounds, but my other dog I had for 10 years, he was 150 pounds. I kind of sometimes miss having a big dog. I met Max. Max was awesome, but it's a lot of work. It's a different kind of work having a big dog than a little dog. Like when I got the little dog, I was like, this was here the whole time. Oh, I know. I used to have a little toy poodle named Jefferson. He was all of 8 pounds. Mm-hmm. Whew, gosh, anyhow. Roxy is now my co-pilot and secretary everywhere I go. So you couldn't do that with Max. You know, Max was more like traveling with a horse. Yeah, he was like traveling with a small horse. So. Okay, well, now we've got Leandria. Here we go. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
She is the president of the Savannah JCs to talk about a really important event on December 8th at 6 p.m. Let's hear all about it.
Yes, we're very excited. We're hosting a candidate forum for the upcoming runoff election. And the JCs have been in Savannah since 1942. So we have a really strong foundation of community service and civic engagement. So tomorrow night, we are hosting kind of a discussion more than a forum, but we have the two candidates for Public Service Commissioner, Blackman and McDonald. We'll have Mayor Johnson and Commissioner Ellis talk about how the city and state plan to work together. Sorry, city and county are working together. And then we have representatives for Warnock, and we are still kind of getting some of those representative RSVPs in. So we're so excited to have this for the community. And we have Facebook Live so people can put their questions in and really understand how the candidates feel about their platforms in regards to how it affects small businesses in this area.
So it is an hour-long live show on the Savannah JC's Facebook page.
It's going to be on our Facebook page, and so we're encouraging everyone as you see it to share it, stream it, so that your networks can also ask questions, because you want to know who's representing you, and we're happy to provide that platform.
So the JCs have a long history of doing these panel discussions with politicians, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As an organization, we're apolitical, but community service is our foundation, and we feel like, creating a space for people to be informed is a huge form of community service.
So it will be also broadcast statewide, as I understand. Is that right?
Statewide, and then also our national JCs have agreed to stream this as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think it's fantastic that you're providing this type of forum because, last night, for example, there was a debate for the Senate candidates, and it's, those debates, they're necessary because people are able to find out, a little bit about each candidate's platform based on questions. But this is more of a discussion, kind of roundtable type discussion that I think is really going to be valuable because you're kind of meeting people where they are as opposed to being so stiff behind a podium. So I think it's fantastic that the Savannah JCs have been able to do this. And you have, the live streaming across the national JCs is huge, but here locally, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is also going to be live streaming it for. I mean, it's that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And through community partners and working with you, Catalina, to get this produced, like, I think it's just one of our things is being really member driven and having different perspectives. So it's been a really great partnership to have you helping and kind of running with the candidates and kind of hunting people down and say, hey, we want to talk to you.
I may be accused of being a stalker when it's all over it, but we got the job done, right?
It's like, hey, we want to talk to you. Like, your constituents need to hear from you, and we're so happy to be able to provide that platform.
And the JCs, that's for, you can belong if you're under 40 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the young professionals networking groups. But that being said, if you show up and you're 41, like, we don't send you home. Like, you can still volunteer and join the meeting and all that.
And they let me volunteer, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can't like officially join, but we don't kick you out.
Right.
Yeah, and everybody, the whole state of Georgia is invited to actually ask questions tomorrow too. Like,
absolutely, yeah. This election is huge, and as we know, this will not only impact people in Georgia. So we really, really want to do our part to help get the word out, and also let people understand the importance of voting. As we have seen, like, every vote really does count, and so letting people be able to make the most well-informed decision when it comes to that.
Well, Leandria, I want to thank you for your leadership. This is a crucial time in our country, and thank you for making this platform available so the rest of us can really ask important questions on how it's going to affect small business, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And it follows the state of small business. So we'll be using that event and that platform to really kind of accelerate our agenda.
Yep. Let me just show you right here. We've got, this is your information here about the Savannah JCs. And then let's go ahead and talk about State of Small Business. That will start live at 1 p.m. tomorrow on Savannah Scores Facebook page. And I think Liz has a link that she can put up there that will go directly to the live stream. We're going to be having Dr. Toma talk about small business employment stats right here in Chatham County. We're not talking about the whole state of Georgia. Michael Owens with the Tourism Leadership Council will be talking about the numbers from that sector. Rhett Mouchet with he'll be talking about commercial real estate. That's on fire, boy, with all the warehouses being built. Wow. Mike Rose with the City of Savannah talking about local growth in construction, and Charles Bowen, better known as Bo Bowen, will be talking about the film industry, which is also on fire and is experiencing a huge comeback after COVID. Lee Beckman with the ports will be on. Victoria Saxton with the Small Business Assistance Corporation talking about access to capital. Keith Fletcher with KRF Associates, he'll be talking about tech, and David Maxwell with the City of Savannah talking about business taxation in Savannah, everything dealing with small businesses. So if you're a small business owner, please tune in tomorrow. I know it's going to be running on the city's channel. The mayor will be on with us. It's a really important yearly event. This is our 8th annual
year, correct? It's an 8th year, right?
The 8th year on the 8th.
8th on the 8th. There we go.
The 8th on the 8th. And so anyhow, so we will see you guys tomorrow. We got a big day. Start off with State of Small Business and then the Savannah JCs. Here's to small business, let's keeping us healthy and strong. So anyhow.
Absolutely.
Leandria, we're going to let you get back to work. I certainly appreciate you coming on the water cooler, chatting with us.
Anytime. Thank you.
Oh, we will catch up with you later.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bye, Leandria. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right.
I think it's just amazing that they are doing that. I think, a lot of people are Georgia, a lot of people don't realize here in the state that Georgia has the opportunity with this election to determine the direction of every committee, every piece of legislation, and every taxpayer dollar. And actually today is the last day to register to vote in Georgia. So if you, and I encourage everybody to get out there and confirm your voter registration just to make sure. So confirm your voter registration. If you've moved or remarried, you have to register again. And if you are going to be 18 by January 5th, you actually can register to vote. And that deadline is 11:59 p.m. today. So get that. Liz is going to put the My Voter page on in the feed where you can check your voter registration. But this is an important election. The Savannah JCs have done a tremendous amount of it. Their club has compiled a number of questions, right? They're asking, they've got a large group that's been working on questions. So we're going to get to hear all about I'm anxious to see our guest today. I've learned a lot about the Public Service Commission over the last few days. So go register to vote, people.
Yeah, and I want to shout out, hey, good morning, Bunny Ware, and good morning, Henry Lee Perry. Thank you for joining us. All right, next we've got Michelle Hoskin. She is with the Healthy Savannah and the Assistant Director for Healthy Living and Community Development. She's here to talk about a number of things. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Great to be with you this morning.
Healthy Savannah's got lots going on. Where do you want to start?
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do. What's going on this coming Sunday is a free church flu vaccination event.
Okay.
It's going to be at Connors Temple and it's going to be it's the 13th. It's 10:30 to 12:30, and it's free. The seasonal flu vaccines are free to everybody. If you want to walk up, you can, because it's designed for walking up, but you can also drive, park, and get a shot as well. And by the way, yesterday was the start of National Influenza Vaccination Week. So that's one of the reasons we're doing this.
I hope people don't forget about flu. I mean, everything is COVID now, and it's like, oh yeah, now we get to worry about the flu too. Oh, great.
Yeah, well, you can catch both of them at the same time. And those folks who are more vulnerable to COVID are certainly more vulnerable to the seasonal flu as well. So it's really important to get a vaccination if you have pre-existing conditions, or if you're older than 65. But really, they recommend that everyone over 6 months get a vaccination. And I got mine. The vaccine clinic at the city center. Mm-hmm. They have them periodically. They switch out the COVID. I got it, and I mean, I barely felt it. I was expecting to feel a serious needle prick, but it felt like a scratch. So yeah, but it's really important because African Americans are much more likely to be hospitalized because of the seasonal flu than most, and more likely to die after severe reactions. So it's important to get the most vulnerable among us vaccinated.
So this is a free event. I'm going to play this right here. Hold on.
I
Very
love jazzy. So jazzy.
I'm over here like little skipping your step song in the background on
That's
that one.
right. That's right. Yeah. Well, and I want to thank folks for their sponsorship and their help in this. Certainly, Connor's Temple, Pastor Stills has just been amazing and encouraging to us. Healthy Savannah's Safe and Health Coalition has been instrumental in getting this done. The End Market is providing some prizes, and Center Park is going to give away some things as well. So we are just really, really pleased, and we're also going to be working with Black Voters Matter. So if you need to get some information on early voting, because early voting, starts the day right after, then you can get your shot and get some early voter information in the same spot.
I love what you guys are doing. Now, quickly, when you get a flu shot, because I've read this, I think I've read this somewhere before, but you're going to know more than me. When you get a flu shot, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get the flu. But I read something along my way that said if you actually get your flu shot and you get the flu, if you're, especially in that more vulnerable population, you're not going to, like, it could be a difference between life and death. Or how sick you get. Is that about right?
That's about right. And I'm learning on the job too, because we just got awarded by the CDC funding to do this work.
Wow.
But what I'm learning is that that on a good year, that is, if the flu that is predicted to hit us is the one that they make the formulation for, then there's a 40 to 60% chance that you will not get the flu. So it's not, it's not like living in a bubble. It's not 100%. But any tool we can use to try to stave off the flu, and as you said, stave off really severe reactions, is really important.
Awesome. So Healthy Savannah is also involved with another healthy initiative. You want to talk about the Healthy Hub and how?
I do. Just last week, we revealed our Healthy Hub, and our Healthy Hub, we call it a little library with a healthy twist. So the SCAD Sustainability and Design class worked with us and created, at this point we have 2, but we've got a few others in the work, 2 healthy hubs, and I think we have a video or image of it. It's a place where you can put books on health topics. We've put hand sanitizers, we've put in some masks, we put in a bowl of fruit and some canned goods, and we are finding that since COVID, little libraries all over the place have kind of evolved from just including books to
food,
hand goods. You remember when alcohol was hard to get and hand sanitizer was hard to get? They put some other places to put that in. So we are stepping in. We're hoping that we can we provide this way of communicating with our communities, and so people can go to Lake Mare, and that's where it is, right across from the Runner's statue. At Lake Mare Park, and leave something, take something, visit often. We've got pamphlets in there as well. And the other thing is that we have artists who provide really beautiful graphic images so that we can put on each side, and we can rotate those. And we're looking for local artists who can contribute some artwork.
Let me run this clip on what it looks like. Fantastic, Michelle. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for getting us up to speed on that. We're going to need to get you back in January.
Please do. I'd love to come back.
Absolutely. Be safe out there, and thank you for giving us an update.
Of course.
All right.
My pleasure.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
They've got so much going on.
No, I feel like every time I turn around, there's something new. But that's great, because that just says that, you know, Savannah is moving the needle and pushing the envelope. And, you know, the Healthy Savannah folks are people don't understand how many things they're actually responsible for. Really, I mean, they really get out there and advocate for so many things. And there are a lot of things, you know, the new walking path, the bike paths downtown.
Oh my gosh, I'm out there every weekend.
But those are just the bike paths downtown, and you know, they've been advocates for that walking path. You know, the work they're doing in the African American community. And she's right, you know, the flu does tend to impact African Americans a lot more than the rest of us. And I went to an education seminar one time, and they were showing asthma rates in Chatham County and respiratory people with respiratory you know, conditions and such. And if you look where they are, the highest rates are in the neighborhoods here that are typically African American. So we have a lot of vulnerable people here. So go out and get your flu shot.
Yep, absolutely. And next we're going to call on Donna. Let's see. Let me get Donna up here. We got one more announcement with Donna Williams, Community Development Liaison for Center Park Credit Union. She's here to talk about the 2 new urban gardens being sponsored by Center Park. Mm-hmm. How are you, Donna?
I am good. Thank you so much, Marjorie and Catalina, for having me on the water cooler this morning.
There you are.
There she is.
Okay, yeah, can you see me now?
Half of you.
Okay. Thank you, ladies, for having me on. Happy Monday.
You gotta show the whole thing.
Yeah. I was sitting here trying to, you know, manipulate things there, but you guys can see me okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, thank you again for having us on Center Park. I have to start by saying who we are. We are new in this area, the Chatham County area, but definitely not new to Georgia. And Marjorie, I know you guys have already know this, so sorry for the redundancy, but we are a division of the Atlanta Postal Credit Union. And here in the Chatham County area, our name is Center Park, PARC, with a play on parcels. Or whatever, and more of a community-minded credit union. So we're in 2 of the Walmarts, one in Pooler, Georgia, and one off of Highway 17. And our brick and mortar building is being constructed right now as we speak near in the Savannah area. So looking forward to that opening in 2021. A part of our social responsibility, we feel, is around helping, you know, the community. I heard Michelle on from Healthy Savannah, and we're definitely a corporate sponsor of Healthy Savannah as well, but helping from a nutrition and perspective with foods. And that's where we have our community gardens. Last week, we had the pleasure of actually sponsoring 2 additional community gardens. And that is $5,000 to Ivory Bay for the Hudson Hill Community Garden Network Initiative. So very excited. I believe they have about 3 gardens that's going to be planted there. And the great thing with them is they're working within the community. They're actually working with the young and the elderly, and fusing that together and have an e-commerce perspective with it. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer, a win-win there. So we were very excited to be able to award them a $5,000 sponsorship through our Garden Initiative program. So that was very exciting. In addition to that, if you mosey on down a little further to the Moses Jackson Advancement Center, we were also able to sponsor their community garden with a $3,500 sponsorship on last week. And the Moses Jackson Advancement Center, I'm sure it's not a stranger at all. It's a foundation definitely within that community there. And they serve the elderly and the neighborhood, the youth and things of that nature. They have different programming. before COVID, and they've kind of adjusted now to meet the needs of the community and helping to support even some of the affordable housing apartments that's near there. So we were very excited about being able to sponsor their garden as well last week for the $3,500 sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about those things. Yeah. Helping to get, I call it back to the basics, right? Helping the youth and the elderly, first of all, connect from that generational gap perspective, but now they're actually growing things, and the elderly helps, especially with Moses Jackson, they have programming to get the two connected there, which is awesome, and helping to get fresh fruit and vegetables and things in their bellies, especially in areas where it's typically a food desert. There's no grocery store in walking distance for them to get to. So that's important. And that's why Center Park is definitely embedded in the community and trying to support as much as we can with our community garden initiative. Of course, our mission is about helping individuals get financially successful, but it goes beyond that as well. That's why these garden initiatives are so important to us.
And we really thank Center Park Credit Union, because this is a crucial initiative during historical times.
Yes.
I mean, people are hungry, and there are now 7 or 8 urban gardens around eight gardens around.
And I have to say Chatham County, Marjorie, because we again we sponsor gardens, and just for your viewers, anyone a nonprofit, 501(c)(3) nonprofit, they can go online, centralpark.org, under our community page, and they can actually apply for sponsorships. We have a committee that looks at that every month. So we actually sponsor throughout, the Chatham County area. In one of our gardens last month, the Garden City Association, Homestead Association, they actually had their harvest last month, and it was awesome to see the community, young and old, go out and actually pick, collard greens and broccoli and cauliflower directly from the garden, and over 170 families went home with bags full of fresh produce right before Thanksgiving. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Donna, that's fantastic. I just love hearing about these wonderful projects that give back, and kudos to Center Park Credit Union for making this happen. So, and we thank you so much for coming on, Donna. And do you have one more minute just to talk about the gift wrap?
Yeah, definitely. I love to talk. I always have another minute. So the gift wrap, which is an annual event of Greenbrier Children's Center, and again, we know that's the great work that they do, and they're a staple in the community. That's their annual fundraiser. So we all realize, again, it's a tough time and fundraising is hard at this moment, but Central Park Credit Union is proud to sponsor their gift wrapping center. We actually was there with them last week with the grand opening Friday at 3 p.m. To get some things popped off. I actually got me a gift wrapped as well, but their gift wrapping center is legendary, right? So it's right outside of the Macy's Court area. People can go there and get gifts wrapped, even if it's not bought or purchased inside the mall. They can go there, and the gift wrapping is not that expensive. I mean, it starts at $3 and up. Or what have you, but they are in need of more volunteers. So if anyone out there wants to help and support the Greenbrier Children's Center, I mean, they have wonderful programs that they help the community. I mean, they even have 2 childcare centers that's here in the Savannah area as well. So that's their fundraising effort. Please support them. Go online to their website, Greenbrier Children's Center. I think you just posted it. .org, and they actually have a training, Marjorie, to teach you how to gift wrap. So if you're someone like me and not that trendy and well crafty with gift wrapping, Greenbrier, they have an actual training that they put you through that can help you, and then that's online too, I believe. So yeah, support Greenbrier. Yeah. So Center Park is proud. Like I said, we go beyond helping individuals, to be financially successful, we're definitely engaged in the community there. So visit us at Central Park, become a member. It's only $5 to get you started and enhance all the wonderful benefits that we have. Chatham County, Effingham, and Bryan County, it's available to you. Yep.
Donna, thank you so much. And I want to quickly also say happy birthday. I know it was your birthday last week.
Thank you. I had a wonderful birthday. Thank you for my present. That's going to be a project for me and my grandchildren, by the way. So thank you.
You're welcome. Donna, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Okay. Bye-bye, Kalina.
Bye-bye.
Oh, interesting. I loved being out there with the folks last week when they presented the $5,000 check.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
They have really, Center Park has really just jumped in, both feet, both hands, arms, legs, the whole nine. I mean, usually, businesses come here. They really came here and really just embraced Savannah and gave us a big hug and decided to really step in there and help a lot of our nonprofits. They've really done some great work.
Yes, they have. And our next guest is Tim Echols. He is here to give us an update on a lot of the projects going on around the state of Georgia. Hey, good morning, Tim. Thank you so much for taking time out, because I know you're busy as an elected official.
First, let me say about this gift wrapping that there is no way, I don't care how many videos I watch, there is no way my wife is going to let me do the gift wrapping in our family. I don't know. I think if you're hardwired, for messy gift wrap, which apparently I am, then there's no way I can ever recover. I don't know. Maybe it happened to me when I was a child, but I'm excited about going to these people and having them do my gifts for me. Right.
I know.
The PSA. This is like the PSA for every man, boyfriend, teenager that buys a gift and doesn't want it to look like a kindergartner wrapped it. Take it to the mall and have the Greenbrier folks do it.
Yeah. And, the flu shot, I just got mine last week. And the only thing I hate worse than getting a shot is going to the dentist. Right. So I went to Kroger. I got my flu shot because I had been to the dentist earlier and already had a really bad day. And I thought, today's the day to do it, right? I mean, I've already been on laughing gas today, so I might as well go and get the flu shot while there's a little bit of it still lingering in me. So, they give it to you pretty high up on your arm, but really, I didn't even feel it. I was just almost embarrassed that I'd gotten so nervous about it.
That's what Nichelle was saying too, that she really didn't feel it either and didn't have any side effects. So one more thing for us to, one more thing to help us fight the flu. And
it does help.
We need every tool we can have in our toolbox to keep healthy.
Yeah, it does help with the herd immunity, right? If more people get the flu shot, then there's just less transmission, according to my pharmacist who gave me the shot, that that I'm not going to get it as bad or show as much symptoms or be impacted as bad. And I just turned 60 this year, so I really need to get one every single year.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, I met you, maybe it's been 10 years ago. You came and spoke at our downtown Rotary, the Savannah Rotary, and you were talking about all the different green projects happening around the state of Georgia. And I said, I have to show you all the ones here in Savannah. And I remember taking you on a tour of Sustainable Fellwood and Abercorn Common and the first LEED certified McDonald's here. And we've stayed in touch ever since. And I just love your initiative with the state of Georgia.
Yeah, you remember when we went to that McDonald's, and one of the things that I asked you is, I wonder if these employees understand just how sustainable this building is. It's the only LEED Gold McDonald's in the state of Georgia, and
in the country at the time.
At the time. And the point that I was making to you was that we got to do a better job of helping young people see the value in this. So that should be part of the orientation. If you're an employee at the Abercorn Commons McDonald's, you ought to be given, an explanation of solar taken up to the roof so you can see it and understand all the features of it, because we can't just have the professional class doing this. We've got to get it down to where people understand the value of renewable energy and how it helps everyone.
Absolutely. And you are walking the walk. I know your house. I know you're in a new house, but you've had solar. You drive a green car. Tell us about all that.
Yeah, so I'm on my fourth electric vehicle, a Chevy Volt, out in my garage. I'm here at the house in Houston. But, I think, Marjorie, one of the concerns I have is that people feel like, well, I can't really get an electric car, so I can't really do anything yet. Look, if you have a Prius, if you're driving a Prius or any hybrid, you're doing fantastic. Don't feel like you have to go all in and get some Tesla or some fancy car. That if you're using something that uses less energy, like, for example, this LED bulb. Let me pull it out of my light right here. I've got this LED bulb, and you can buy these at any big box store. But these things produce 90% less heat, right? So if you're using an old incandescent bulb in your house, it's heating up. And so part of what you're trying to do with your air condition is just cool your bulbs, right? And so you're better off going with something that uses less energy, puts off less heat. It's going to save you money, not only on the light itself, but on your air conditioning. So here's my challenge to everybody in the water cooler today. Go around your house and count how many light bulbs you have. So I've got about 45 of them here, and changing over to LED. And this bulb looks perfectly normal, doesn't it? I mean, it's just got this little sleeve on it, but this is an LED bulb. It will last about 10 times longer, produces less heat, and only costs 1/10 of the amount.
So, Tim, with the Public Utilities Commission, what is your job?
Yeah, so our job after 1991, our job was to make sure that both ratepayers and the utilities were given a fair, square deal. So it's not. A lot of people think, well, we're just a consumer agency. That's not it. We want to make sure that these utilities are doing well. And when I say doing well, I mean that they have the money they need to operate, that they are providing the kind of customer service required. Obviously, we want rates as low as possible, that they're building plants that make sense for the state. And the commissioners, there are 5 of us, and we heard from the JCs that they're doing a debate on one of my colleagues tomorrow. Bubba McDonald will be on her channel with Daniel Blackman there in Savannah for the Savannah JC debate. We also decide what kind of energy are we going to have in the future. And we don't do this willy-nilly, Marjorie. We do this according to the way the legislature set that up, which is every 3 years we do a strategic plan. And Marjorie, you work with a lot of nonprofits. One of my master's degrees from UGA is in nonprofit organizations. And any nonprofit worth its salt does a strategic plan. I mean, their board would require it. It's how you grow, it's how you plan, how you prepare. And we do exactly the same with the power company. Every 3 years, we do a strategic plan and we decide, okay, what are we going to build in the future? How are we going to pay for it? Are we going to make a transition to this energy or that energy? So it's a lot more complicated, Marjorie, and a lot more boring, to tell you the truth, than people give it credit for.
But you're also involved with a lot of organizations, businesses, and bringing them to Georgia, and the battery. The battery company. What was that?
SK Innovations up in Commerce, in this county that I'm in right now. It is an enormous battery plant that's going to provide lithium-ion batteries for electric cars. And, you know, I want to give a shout out really to Savannah and their sustainability director, because Savannah is now using some Nissan Leafs. They've been doing this about a year for parking enforcement downtown. So if you look around, hopefully you won't get a ticket from them, but if you look around downtown, you're going to see some electric vehicles that are being used. And that is the perfect use case for them, Marjorie, is because those vehicles aren't driving to Atlanta. They're not going to Hilton Head. All they're doing is puttering around Savannah at low speed. And that is the perfect use case for a car like the Nissan Leaf.
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
No, I've got
what does the public, you know, with all this working with the Savannah JCs and rounding up these candidates, specifically the Public Service Commission, you know, I like to think I'm rather informed. You know, I had no idea that the Public Service Commission did or does. I mean, you just told us about the different types of energy projects, but what does the Public Service Commission actually do? Like for the people who are going to be voting tomorrow, not in a partisan way, but just what is the Public Service Commission and what does it do? Why is it important to your small business and your local community member at the same time?
Yeah, it's really more like a court. We're more like judges, right? And so when companies fight, like right now, the cable companies are fighting with the EMCs, and we have 41 EMCs, and so they're fighting, and we're the referee for that, right? So we spent a whole week 2 weeks ago in listening to hours and hours and hours and hours of hearings from their lawyers, their witnesses, and we're going to vote on that a week from tomorrow. So I would say half of our year is spent in refereeing different types of fights between these companies. And we've been given this job by the legislators. That's 180 House members, representatives like Carl Gilliard from Savannah, and the 56 senators. They create laws, and then we're one of the agencies that executes that. So we're judges, and then we're also auditing Georgia Power and making sure they're doing what they say they're doing and making sure that they have money. Like, for example, when the hurricane fund was depleted, and you remember, I mean, every time a hurricane comes through, it hits Savannah and Chatham County, and there's impact. We want to make sure that they have the trucks they need, all the staging equipment they need, the money they have to put everything back right. All of that is a decision that we make in conjunction with the power company. So there's a lot of court-like hearings that we do in our courtroom in Atlanta. Does that make sense?
So you're also involved with the Augusta project. What is the status of that?
Yeah, so Plant Vogel is one of the plants that we're building. So if you can remember back, there was a coal plant sitting on the river in Savannah, right? That's gone. Plant Riverside, that's gone. So when you close plants like the plant up in Eatonton, coal plant, Plant Riverside, others, I mean, you've got to replace it with something, right? So we've done a lot of solar energy that provides power for us in the daytime, but I mean, we don't want to burn candles at night. So we still have to have some kind of form of baseload energy. And, you know, we started building Plant Vogel in 2009 when natural gas prices were really high. So our commission back then compared building a Plant Vogel to building a gas plant. And at the time, it made sense to go ahead and launch out and build Vogel. Since that time, gas has gone down and down and down and down. I'm not talking about gasoline. I'm talking about methane that comes into your house in a pipe. And so I think if we were building a new plant today, we wouldn't build a Plant Vogel because it would be cheaper to build gas. But once you started on something, remember, it's a strategic plan. And we launched out, and, you know, by the time we had spent $5 billion, you know, it made sense maybe to build a gas plant, but it was too late. It was too late, and we had to finish it. And so we'll finish it late next year.
Okay.
We're 94% complete with Unit 3, and then a year from or 2 years from now we'll finish Unit 4. But Marjorie, I really think that we're going to be glad that we did, because what's going to happen with energy policy in the future is that a future Congress and a president, and especially if it's a Democratic president, they're going to want to have a carbon tax, a CO2 tax. And if that's the case, Plant Vogtle would be exempt because it has no CO2 emissions. So part of the reason I wanted to move forward with Plant Vogtle is as kind of a hedge against what might happen in the future. And I really believe we are going to have a carbon tax eventually, and Plant Vogtle will run for 80 or 100 years, and it will provide carbon-free energy for Georgia 24/7.
How do other countries do it? Do they tax carbon producing businesses? Or?
In Europe, the Europeans have gotten really aggressive with this, and that's why if you go down to the river in Savannah, just south of the Marriott there on the river, and you look at that big dome, there's a big dome down there. Just look down the river. You know what's in that dome? Wood pellets, Georgia wood pellets. And those wood pellets are being sent to England and to Germany, because in Germany and England, they consider Georgia southern pine wood pellets to be green.
Okay.
We don't burn a single wood pellet in Georgia, not one single wood pellet. We burn wood chips, but not pellets. So Europe has said, we're going to give special dispensation to Georgia wood pellets, and we're considering them green. So they're closing coal because it does cost more because of the penalties there for coal. Europe is not really building nuclear power plants. There's a couple going, but the real nuclear renaissance in the world, Marjorie, is happening in China and Russia. It's Asia. China's building 26 nuclear plants. And the reason they're doing that is all of their coal is unscrubbed. We call it unscrubbed, meaning there's no, like, in your car, you have a catalytic converter muffler system. Those Chinese coal plants didn't have any of that. They were just, the pollution was just going right up the stack. In Georgia, we've got the latest pollution controls. And so our coal doesn't emit the kind of pollution that theirs does in China. And that's why China is aggressively moving towards nuclear energy.
So let me ask you this question. What are the top 3 things that consumers can do to help reduce their energy consumption? And I know you talked about one with LED. What else would you recommend?
Yeah, clearly the lights are the low-hanging fruit, especially for businesses, parking decks,
right.
All of that. I really think that Savannah ratepayers should consider going on the prepay rate with Georgia Power, the prepay rate. And the way this works is you get a message every day on your phone about how much money is left in your account, how much energy you used yesterday. And Marjorie, what we've seen is that these customers that are prepaying their energy bill, and you can just prepay it a couple of days at a time. You don't have to keep a large balance. In fact, the average balance for all of our prepaid customers, about $32. And what we've seen is that because these customers are getting this message, that they begin to think about energy. They get a message about their balance, and they go, "Oh my, I need to turn out this light right here." And they click out they click off their lights, or they make sure their Christmas tree's unplugged at night, or they turn their AC thermostat up or down appropriately, whether it's in the winter or summer. And we're seeing these customers save about 11% over against when they were getting a monthly bill. So I'm telling you, Marjorie, this works, because if you get a message about your energy every single day, you are going to change your habits, and that will save you money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't know about prepaying. How do you do that? Can you do it online?
You can call Georgia Power and just say, would you please analyze my account for prepay and convert me to prepay? And what they'll do is if you're a customer that has been behind and they're holding a deposit, holding $150 or $250 of your money, they're immediately going to release all of that money and apply it to your bill. You no longer will have a deposit. But the second that your account hits zero, they're going to turn your power off. But with our smart meters now, even if your power went off, you could turn it back on within 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's so easy because everybody's got these digital meters now, and all you've got to do is make another payment, add $10 to your bill, add $17.50 to your bill, and boom, power comes back on. So I really think that customers are missing out by not being on prepay.
I didn't even know you could do that. So that's interesting.
So number one was lights and efficiency. Number two is prepay. And I think the third thing, especially given, that Savannah is hot, is having an energy audit from Georgia Power. Because what they're going to do is look at that air condition that you have and make absolutely sure that that thing is not running too much. Meaning that when your Freon gets low in your air condition keeps running, trying to cool your house. But it can't do it because maybe something's wrong with it. And if you fix that AC, it's not going to cycle on as much, and it's not going to use as much energy, and you're going to lower your bill. So getting that AC checkup, either through an energy audit from Georgia Power or through an HVAC company, they'll come out for $69 and do a checkup, or less, and get that done. That's so important.
How much is it through the Georgia Power? And I also heard there's something with Catalina. Didn't you tell me there's something you can protect during lightning storms?
Oh yeah, I found out about this quite accidentally, but you can. I signed up online with Georgia Power, and you can actually have them come out and install a surge protector on your home, and it didn't cost me anything. They just came out and did it. It took them about 2 weeks. You go online, you request it, and it took them about 2 weeks to get here, based off the appointment that they made for me. But yeah, they came out at one point and did the smart meter thing, and then I was looking into a surge protector for a motor we have with a business I deal with, and I accidentally found out that you can get a surge protector put on your home, which I thought was kind of cool, and they just did it.
Yeah, surge protector is very convenient, especially in areas where you have outages, but it is not as important as getting a checkup on your HVAC system.
Right. Oh, absolutely not.
To make sure the thing is not running too much. And the energy audit, Marjorie, costs zero, nothing.
From Georgia Power?
You just need to order the energy audit, and they'll come out to your home. They'll have PPE on, and they'll come in and they'll do that quick energy audit check. And look, if you have any trouble getting that done, contact me, at timechols.com. You can just send me a message from there. Hit me up on Twitter at Tim Echols, and I will be happy to help arrange that for you.
Awesome. Gosh, Tim, this is such good information. And like Kat, I don't think people really understand how involved and how complicated and how important all these initiatives are for the state of Georgia and keeping us moving forward with all this wonderful future thinking. So, thank you so much for sharing this information. What else would you like to leave listeners with? Is there another tip or something?
We live in contentious times politically, and I want to encourage everyone out there to reach out, at this holiday season with an encouraging word to your elected officials, whoever they are, starting at the city council level to the county commission to your state representative and your state senator, and just introduce yourself to them. Don't ask them for anything. Just reach out and say, thank you for serving, and begin the relationship. Marjorie, I'm going to tell you that anyone who texts me or contacts me and asks me for help, anyone, I try to help. But if you don't contact me and you don't ask me for something, guess how much help you're going to get?
Right.
None. You're not going to get any because I don't know you need it. And so the way that you begin a relationship with an elected official is not in a crisis where you're begging them for something, or you're cussing at them, or you're mad at them. That is no way to begin a relationship. You begin a relationship with a simple email and just asking, just telling them, thank you for serving. I live at this address. I'm praying for you. Merry Christmas to you. And just, and they're going to respond back probably and say, thank you. And then you're going to have their email. And then when something does come up, you can go back to that email and say, hey, I know you're voting on this issue. Please consider this perspective. Or, hey, I have a friend whose power's out. Like right now, I'm trying to help a lady who reached out to me by text. She owes $1,189 on her bill, and they're about to turn her off. She has 6 children. She's a single mom. She was in an abusive relationship. And she sent me a text. I'd never met her before. That was on Thursday. Today, the Salvation Army is going to pay $1,000 on her bill.
Wow.
And I'm going to pay the other $189 to keep her from being turned off. Now, obviously, I don't do that with all my constituents, but I felt like with her having 6 children, I have 7 children, and we were talking about our kids, and I just felt like, I want to help her. And so I haven't even told her I'm helping her. I'm just going on it. I'm just going on the website and paying the $189, and the Salvation Army's kicking in $1,000. She may never find out that I helped her. But if you don't ask, Marjorie, if you don't build a relationship, then it's hard for an elected official to engage on your behalf.
Gosh, Tim, that's beautiful. I mean, especially during this time of year, and that I've seen so much magic like that happen around our communities. People are helping each other. And we're living in historic times.
I like what you said. I specifically like what you said when you're reaching out to your public officials, doesn't matter who they are. I mean, I feel like over the last few years, people have become so angry with their politics and their opinions. And it used to be, I mean, I've been voting since 1987. We've always had Democrats, independents, Republicans, and your guy might not win, but everyone's like, okay, my guy didn't win, or I might not like this, or I might not like that. But they were never willing to like threaten you or fist fight in the street or have horrible screaming matches in drive-throughs and all the things we see right now. And so these people, no matter who they are, Democrat, Republican, independent, just some guy volunteering to help a campaign. At the end of the day, they volunteered to do this. They're there to serve. They're not there to commit fraud. They're not there to, jack up the system. They're there to serve. And they might have a different opinion than you do, or maybe a different platform. But at the end of the day, you still should be able to have a decent human conversation and a relationship. I have people in my family I don't agree with all the time. I still love them, and I still have a relationship with them. And I think we need to get back to that.
Yeah, think about this. The mayor of Savannah, Van Johnson, that if he and I don't have a good relationship, then as he tries to accomplish his sustainability goals for the city, they're 100% clean goals. I mean, Savannah doesn't generate its own power. I can compel the power company because I regulate them. If he can't talk to me because we're being ugly to each other and we're fussing at each other and we're calling each other names on Twitter, how is he going to be able to get the help that he needs to move forward with that particular goal? And so I really try to practice what I preach on this in keeping strong relationships with people of other parties, like Carl Gilliard, like Mayor Johnson, and others, and not get ugly and take these things too personally. I think we've got to remember that elected officials are serving and that they are doing their best. And even if you may disagree with them today, you may need their help tomorrow. And so it's best to keep an open communication with them.
Tim, thank you so much for your leadership throughout the state of Georgia for many, many years. I mean, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
That's fantastic. And I definitely want to get you lined up to speak at our Savannah Rotary
Love it.
in 2001. So,
hey, and don't forget Wednesday at 9:00 at Sea Point, this coming Wednesday, Big Bond Bagels is going to bring out all this great food, and we're going to have a fantastic time at Sea Point, because at Sea Point they are creating a clean tech incubator that gives free office space for 1 year to companies, organizations, and educational institutions focused on clean energy.
Oh, we need to get him on, Tim. Can you connect us?
Absolutely. We need to have Reed Delaney or Carmen on, because this is the only place in Georgia doing this, and we need to be talking about it.
Absolutely. Oh, we'll make that happen. And it is right at the top of 10 o'clock. So I have to actually head to Rotary. So Tim, thank you so much for being on, and everybody, thank you so much for watching another edition of the Water Cooler. And we'll see you next week. We're going to be talking with a number of nonprofits of what nonprofits need to know about operating. And I know
operating.
I mean, there's so many rules and regulations and tips and advice on making sure that your nonprofit is optimized. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. Talk to y'all soon.
Go register and vote. If you haven't